Hello, my darling friends. Jenny Lee here. And in this video, I'm going to review with you 1 through 3, the first 3 common pitfalls to avoid when you are buying a property. And this is whether you're going to live in the property or whether you're investing in the property. Because as you know, I always say, and it is true, just because you're not going to live there or just because you are going to live there doesn't matter. It's still an investment. Either way, it's an investment. So these are not in necessarily order of importance, but the final one, which will be a video on its own, will get a lot more discussion. But anyway, number 1 is buying with unchangeable circumstance, such as a busy road. Can't change that. Unless you can put up fences and all that, and the majority of the time you really can't adequately put up fences to change the fact that you've got a busy road there. So that's really an unchangeable circumstance. And toxic neighbor, whether that's an actual person that's toxic or whether it is a industrial neighbor, whether it's, a business that's busy, that's noisy, that's stinky, a toxic neighbor, and that's something that you cannot change. Number 2 is buying in the wrong neighborhoods, such as age restriction. And the reason that I bring that up is if it's like a community that's like a 55 and over community, sometimes they have like activity fees, which are a requirement for the new buyer to pay every month, kind of like an HOA fee. And there are times that those activity fees are very expensive. And so given that, when buyers are looking at the property, they may choose not to want to buy that property because of the high activity fees, because ultimately that results in cost, monthly cost for the buyer. So be sure to look at that and make sure that that is not going to be a financial point that your buyer would not want to take. Also, the other thing is gang activity. You would be surprised in some neighborhoods, and on all the things I'm telling you from experience, but there are some neighborhoods that you might be surprised that there are gang activity. And it could even be what I might call an innocent gang, like just some, unsupervised, unruly teenagers that cause trouble. If you see a neighborhood that is a good looking neighborhood, that is in a good school district and is a good location, but the properties tend to sell at a good deal, you might better check behind that, because many times that's because sellers are anxious to get out, and so they're willing to take less, or they leave and they would get foreclosed on. In other words, they're moving out of there regardless of the consequences. So if you see neighborhoods like that, call the police and ask for, what kind of, calls that they have, what kind of complaints do they have, and they'll tell you. This is research that's important for you as an investor to do, so that you can make sure you're getting the property that you think you're getting. And then number 3 is buying in the wrong condition, such as it's just too much to overcome. Like there's so many issues that, the house is really need to tear it down and just start over. At least you have utilities in place. Now, I'm going to tell you, I love reimagining homes, and I do not go for tearing down homes if it can be avoided at all. And so I believe that a lot can be saved, but a lot of times, there may not. If the actual structure of the home, the beams, the support beams, and everything are way beyond, and then everything else, materials in the house are, destroyed, then there's nothing you can do about it. But anyway, that is the number 3, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video where we're going to discuss number 4, 5, and 6 of the top 10 pitfalls to avoid. So I hope your day is fabulous. Mwah.